People in this show can't just have conversation about like, hey, what'd you do last night? Watch a movie or something? You should try the fries here, they're pretty good. No, even the smallest of small talks in this show are poetry. Seems exhausting. Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 2 of Hannibal. But before that, remember that time about a month ago that I said I was going on a trip, but I was gonna make videos on the go? About that, I suck, I'm sorry, but I love you. Let's do this. Before we get started, this is a Season 2 review, so minor spoilers for Season 1. So Season 2 of Hannibal continues to explore the relationship between Will Graham and Dr. Hannibal Lecter now that Will has been imprisoned for the crimes of the Chesapeake Ripper. Season 1 of Hannibal was generally well received, and you can also check out the review I did for it right here, but I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about Season 2, with the main complaint being that the show gets just kind of too messy and loses direction. But I've gotta say, this was kind of my favorite kind of second season. The story picks up where Season 1 left off, but it's not the type of thing where the last season ended and now this new season it's doing its own thing with a complete separate story. Season 2 of Hannibal is deeply rooted in Season 1, and the show rewards you for having watched Season 1 and for having invested emotionally in the characters. The story in Season 2 is the evolution of the story in Season 1, and I love that. We continue to explore the twisted and fascinating relationships between the characters in the show, not just Will and Hannibal, but also Alana and Jack. The new cases, the new murders that the FBI has to solve kind of take a back seat in this season, and any murder that isn't directly tied to the main story is usually solved pretty quickly and easily and kind of in the background. And I thought that was great. They did a really good job with keeping the show diverse and interesting enough with a more colorful background, and the seemingly unrelated cases usually provide great opportunities for character development. And if you've been around here for a while, you know that I love me some character development. That was weird. As the season progresses, the murders in each episode become increasingly more attached to the main story. So what did I love about this? First of all, the performances. Even better than Season 1, Will and Hannibal are so interesting to watch, and their performances are beautiful. The show is still very heavily stylized. Every camera angle, the color correction, the incredible dream hallucination sequences, everything feels that it's there because it needs to be there. And also it just looks amazing. Even something as simple as someone pouring coffee into a cup becomes this incredible artistic shot in this show. Will's character undergoes an evolution that was thought-provoking and gripping and just very interesting to watch. The show can be kind of exhausting at some point because every conversation is so full of metaphors and thoughtfulness and references and philosophy, and it's not bad, it's great, it's how these characters think, but keeping up with it can be a lot. Personally, I had to be in a certain mood to watch this show. It's not the kind of show that I could just idly watch. This type of insightful, thoughtful dialogue is a huge part of this show, and I know that no one talks like that, at least no one in my social circles, but that really didn't bother me all that much. I still loved it. It just, sometimes, just ask him. I don't have anything with this. Moving on to the next point. There were a few times that I felt that the show needed a certain character to suspect something or understand something, and then that character suddenly suspects that thing. And it was weird because I didn't always buy it. Like the background for that character changing their mind wasn't solid enough. I get why they needed that character to change their mind to move the story along, but there were a few shaky changes that didn't fully make sense to me. Towards the end of the season, they kind of laser focus on Will and Hannibal and kind of forget about everything else. I didn't really mind the loose ends, of which there are a few, because I thought the ending was intense and satisfying, and I loved it. A few people that I talked to about this show had the kind of reasonable argument that towards the end of the season, the show just becomes blood porn, but I thought that it still looked amazing and still served the story, so I was happy with it. But yeah, if you thought there was a lot of blood in the first season, there is buckets load more full of blood in this season. What did I just say? Anyway, bottom line, should you watch it? I would say a resounding yes. I felt that season 2 of Hannibal expertly builds on the foundation of the first season and evolves the story in beautifully interesting and dark ways. You learn more about the main characters and their motivations, which is awesome, but there are also a few loose ends and some weird shifts in some of the characters, which bothered me just like a little bit. It bothered me a bit. I am worried about season 3 though. Well, it's not keeping me up at night, but I think I have a general idea of where season 3 is heading, and I'm not sure I like it. So have you watched season 2 of Hannibal? Who did you think was the most engaging and interesting character? And if you didn't like the show, because I know there were a lot of mixed opinions about this, tell me why you didn't like the show. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community, where we attempt to talk about TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with opinions, reviews, news, sketches, all kinds of great stuff, all for you fellow TV lovers and binge watchers. Or binge watchers and TV lovers, I usually say. Anyway, you can go ahead and click that big subscribe button to join in on the fun, or you can check out any of the other videos on the channel. This side? I haven't done this in a while. In any case, keep binging, and I'll see you next time.